vibe. I live a vibe. I live a vibe. I live a vibe. My life of content, like what to do with content wise, like what he needs, if he's gonna do voiceovers or if he's just gonna like walk around and do vlogs. And I'm like, you can technically do everything with one, but you wanna like, if you're gonna start off with something, stick to something that's really good for that. You know, I'm not sure if you know like the little Rode like Mini Masters, like the $100 portable mics that people just clip on. I'm like, if you're gonna do anything, those are super useful for like.
So I just used those for the first time the other day. They have a fucking like tone to them that I don't love. So I have the little like I did a lot of like lav mic research.
Okay, yeah.
And I have the Tascams that have like a little. The thing I don't love about them is that they have the individual recorder packed to it. Like you just put an SD card in it, it records right to that. It's cool because I have two of them, but it does make it a little bit difficult because then you have two different things you got to pull files from if you're using both of them at the same time.
You have to know what you're doing when you're editing them. You make sure they're lined up on top of that. And I think, like, I don't know, like, you know your voice, right? So I understand where you're coming from when you say you don't enjoy the tone of it.
Host is only, it's frozen on you.
Yeah, it's all right. We just want to use it.
Okay. I just wanted to, someone, okay. Sorry.
Sometimes these cameras get a little janky and malfunction.
Nah, bro, there's a lot of things going on at once, and that makes it hard, because...
Do try to, like, picture this thing as a cone. And talking to the mic cone style.
Cone.
Don't be scared of her.
Cone. Nah, 100%. That's what they're for, bro. You know, so, this is the time.
Let's do the time is always now. Let's do the introduction. Welcome, everybody. We are joined by Angel.
The one and only. I think so.
I appreciate you making it out, coming out here and shit.
Sir, thank you. Thank you for having me, bro. It's a blessing. I appreciate it. I know we mentioned it once, so the fact we're able to lock this in, it's a ton, bro. I know we're going to have a good time.
I'm stoked, man. I've been looking forward to getting to know you because obviously a lot of people don't know how I like. You know, I like to get to know people on this podcast too. 100%. You know, and you're a big part of the scene. I see you out here. You're ripping it with you're a big part of the Upstate Bridge movement and everything like that.
I try, bro. At the end of the day, everybody has their movers, and I just care about what we're doing, bro. I love the music. I love the people, and actually having community is like one of the hardest things, you know. And so trying to establish that is just a priority of mine that I don't think will ever leave.
So let's dig into a little bit of the history of Angel. How long you been making music for?
Ooh, how long I've been making music? We'll say 2020, 2021, like right around the pandemic, right when the pandemic started.
Fresh, okay.
Super fresh. Okay. I grew up like in a musically inclined family. My dad played instruments. He had a band his whole life. I grew up in a really like Spanish environment. I'm Puerto Rican. So I was always surrounded by it. I know how to play a couple instruments, but like choosing to write and do something for myself was like something I never thought of or like made the choice to do till I got bored, you know?
Fuck yeah. What instruments do you play?
Really, mainly hand percussion. So I can play the congas and the bongos. So both are real big, like African style drums. And then I learned on like really simple instruments. So there's these. They're literally two sticks, but they're called claves, right? And this is how everyone kind of like learns tempo when you're learning percussion. But it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and that's like the first rhythm you learn, and that's an instrument. They use that in all type of songs, even in giant Spanish orchestras. You'll still hear one in the background. So that's like really my main instruments, what I really could play. But it's been a little while.
You ever considered like incorporating that into your set?
A lot. I think about it a ton, but I don't think I'm ready for it. There's like I want to hit certain levels of artistry where I feel comfortable to do that, you know? Because I don't, for example, I don't produce most of my own music. That's just something I'm not intertwined yet. And I don't consider myself a producer. I want to be more engaged because I know I can compose. I know I can arrange instruments and arrange sounds.
Okay. You mean that in the sense of like, do you want to learn how to make beats or you want to just kind of like...
I want to be in the room. I don't like...
So that's what I do. That's how I facilitate a lot of like my productions. It's like I don't know the... I know people who can operate through like FL and like, you know, and Logic and Pro Tools and things like that in a way that it would take me a decade to learn. So I'd rather just let them. I once saw this video of Justin Bieber like conducting an orchestra with just his mouth. So I've made beats like that with like producers where I'm like, it needs to be like a little bit, especially with the EDM thing I've been working on. So
yeah, versatility.
I can definitely
bro.
plug you into some people too if you want to do that. Where do you get your beats from normally?
Yo, YouTube.
Okay.
So I've grown a lot. So at the start, it was just trying to look up stuff on YouTube, and I'm very picky and choosy about what I want to rap on because it's not that I'm generic, but what I was introduced to rap was like Linkin Park. That was my first introduction to like
the Jay-Z fusion.
Not even the JV Susan, just in the original.
I guess I've never just thought about them as rappers, but in the sense, the cadence is definitely like.
So like to give you a really interesting background, outside of like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, the only music I heard growing up was Spanish music. Spanish is my first language, so until I got to like 4th grade, 5th grade, got my own Samsung, started going on YouTube, started seeing anime music videos. We remember the era of that. That's really how I got introduced to a lot of like English music, and Linkin Park was always a really big one. So that introduced me, I guess I always had a sense of rhythm, but that introduced me to a different way to use it. Okay. And so I've really I guess I've honed in my sound. I really enjoy like boom bap percussion. I enjoy samples. Like I enjoy very deep melodic samples, and I like just the layer toning. I love something simple. At the end of the day, I need the core instrumentation. Like my goal is to be able to play all my music live with a full band behind me. That's everyone's dream.
I think that's every real musician's dream.
But like when you have some crazy, intricate beat, you have to think about how do I translate that? Some of these musicians you're working with actually read music, right? So how does this actually become a sound, right? So coming from a drummer, how do we make that real? And so that's something I constantly think about when I'm listening to production, right? Is this something I can mimic with a band, with my own voice? Can I come up here and start, doing the YouTube videos where I start making one sound, hit the button, I keep it on loop with my foot pedal, and I keep it going, I build a whole production. Can I do something like that with what I'm rapping on?
Have you ever seen Felix Free? Have
Yes,
you ever seen what he does with his vocals live and like the way his live production is?
Dude, but like I love Felix so much because he's so in tune with his live sets, man. He knows his songs so well. He knows when everything's about to come in. It's orchestrated, bro.
It's very well. It's a very, very fine oil machine. I'm a huge fan. I'm glad you know of the reference, so I'm not just like.
Bro,
so you get why I'm saying that, right?
Yes.
Like, have you ever because I've seen him the first time I ever saw him without a band. I've seen him without a band, and I've seen him.
I haven't seen him without a band yet.
So that's the thing. You got to see him without a band.
Really?
To get the fact that...
Because he's still an MC. At the end of the day, he's a real artist. He's a real rapper.
And he has, a recorded backup trackings of the band. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it kind of reminded me of, I don't know. I would like to get on a level of that production to where it's like a full band production. That way... when you go to even just perform it, it's a full band thing too.
So other people can plug and play even when you don't have your band there, quote unquote.
Yeah. Sorry to sidetrack you. So who's Angvl bumping at the moment? What's on the playlist right now? Who's in the current top 5? Who are you bumping right now?
So my top 5 is really interesting because what I really jam out to is constantly like on a rotation. I vibe with music heavily. So Bad Bunny's new album plays a large part for me right now. I'm actually enjoying it because it gives me a lot of nostalgia. It's a lot of like core salsa and core like native music. My dad's family is born and raised Puerto Rico for 300 plus years till he moved and I was born here. So that's really like probably number 1 right now. Number 2 is actually probably something most people wouldn't expect, but it's on that like dance hip hop wave. I'm really into this guy named Namino. He's super. Pause
that real quick. I'm gonna grab some waters real quick.
Yeah, 100%. Vibing. I appreciate you rocking the gear, my guy. You're locked in.
I just hang out.
Yeah,
I sit cross-legged.
Yeah, bro. Have you seen? I'm a big nerd. Have you seen Death Note?
See, I don't watch like.
I have.
I haven't. No.
Real, and I get that too. So there's this dude who everyone thinks is crazy, but he's like insanely smart in the show. He's probably the biggest whiz.
In Death Note?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he sits like that.
I dove through the series once, and then I saw the live action as well.
Real.
People hated on it. I didn't think it was too shabby.
I watched. So I have a really bad time with like thrillers and mystery. I just have like horrible anxiety, so I can't deal with like build up really well. So I got to a certain point in watching the show. I'm like, oh, this is deep. This is gonna make my heart pound out my chest. So I stopped. I haven't picked it up since.
Interesting.
And that's kind of like my issues with a lot of shows. But since I got that far with it, I have a pretty good understanding of the characters. So when I watched live action, I didn't think it was bad. It's just like there's a weird way to say it was like an American translation of it.
That's the perfect way to describe it. That's exactly what it was. They're like, cut the fat. Let's fucking
rip.
Let's go A, B, C, and just get the fucking point across. This is what it can work. Let's create a universe. Let's done. They did it with Pokemon too.
Yeah,
that's actually like because
shit. I mean, we can go off Pokemon.
I actually had a. Let's backtrack before we get into Pokemon. Top 5 currently.
All right, so we start off with Bad Bunny. Then we go to Namino.
Okay.
Then right now, actually, Key Glock is probably my number 3, just because I coach wrestling. That's like my big thing right now. And so that just gets me hyped. Like when I'm in the car, when I'm in the room, when I'm getting the kids. That just like everything about Key Glock gets me going. But then outside of Key Glock, really, it's probably just Future. Future is always in my rotation somehow, and then Roddy Ricch. I always play a lot of classic Roddy Ricch. I will never leave.
It's funny to think like, okay, because I just like kind of got onto Roddy Ricch probably like 2-3 years ago.
Real.
And to hear that like the phrase classic Roddy Ricch, because he was like a new artist to me perspectively. But I fuck with that. So you said you first started recording in about 2020, right?
Yeah.
So is your first ever recorded song out?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
a lot of people don't have that.
I think there's a certain level of quality I leave behind where, while right now I definitely think the recording, the mix, and the master is all terrible, I think the writing is really well. And it's still technically my most popular song.
I like a lot of your writing.
I appreciate that.
I dove into a lot of your catalog last night.
Thank you.
And you do have very good writing. I like it a lot. And I like that you're aware that you got growth to come.
Yes,
and I think I'm excited to see it.
Can you guess what the song is?
I wish I could say I had the names down in my brain well enough, but I guarantee it's one of the ones I liked last night.
Probably.
What is it? Just for the
it's Moonlight.
Moonlight. Okay.
Moonlight.
I actually don't think I listened to that one.
It makes sense. It's literally the first song, my first single. It's the first song and my first my technical EP. I call them mixtapes. And it was definitely bubbling for a long time. I think a lot of my newer singles have definitely like started overclouded because that's all I perform. I've never performed Moonlight, ironically. I just wasn't performing at that time when the song was out and the song was really moving.
Why have you performed it since then?
I think I haven't gotten the right setting. I think like my music
that.
is very like I'm not like the best way I can describe it is while I don't want to call my catalog diverse, I have a range of emotions in my catalog, and so I know when I'm behind Zach G, there's a certain couple songs he's actually set that are very hype. I love my guy. I think his discography is great, but he also is very loud, very vibrant. Even when he gets to his rap, he's very gritty and he's very into it. A lot of like I paint a picture every time I rap, and I'm not talking about certain things. So I think I really try to project and give people a range when I'm up there. It's like the best way I could put it.
Kind of know your crowd, basically.
Yeah, not even know my crowd, know the crowd I'm working with, because 90% of the time it's not my crowd, right?
Oh, believe me, I'm aware of that. I'm in a very similar field, Excuse me. So I lost it right there. I don't know what happened.
It's real, bad. It's real.
Fuck, I had it. My apologies.
No, it's okay. It's okay, big dog. That's how.
Do you got anything coming out? What's in the pocket right now?
There's actually a lot in the pocket. So I released a song back in November called "Broken." It's a song I wrote actually right after Moonlight. It's probably like the second or third song I wrote, but I never got to. I never got to actually putting the song together. I had it recorded in my bedroom.
Where do you record?
Right now, currently, my main place is actually studios.
Okay.
I've been working with Zach with the next 2 songs. So my next song is actually engineered, and Zach is featured on it. I could definitely.
How you feel about that one?
Great.
feeling good about it?
Great. That one, I can play it for you at some point. I have 2 versions of it. So I have the version that's coming out, the released one. That's actually the re-recorded one. 2 years ago, right before me and Zach got started with the bridge, I started. Me and Zach were like we were friends at that point. We've definitely grown a lot closer now. I call that man my brother. But at that time, I was still trying to like figure Zach out in a lot of ways, you know. So I went and I booked a session with him, and we recorded the song. And I bought a feature off him and got him on a feature. But like the first session, there's so much growth in the artistry and how we sound and our confidence and the way we approach it. Even like the writing changed just a wee bit. But like you can tell that I needed that space as an artist for this song, for it to be the way it should.
I recorded with Zach once. I enjoyed it.
I highly recommend it, man.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it.
One good thing about Zach is he's an artist as a recorder. So that comes through a lot with the recording with him. And I like that, to where it's like, you tell some engineers just go in for the hourly session, and they don't
100%.
really. Some of them don't even have the same vision of what the song should be either. And I think with him being his level of artistry, he can chef that out. Shout out Zach G, by the way.
Heavy on that. I think the one thing, like, to comment on Zach as an engineer, he comes in with your purpose, not his purpose. Very similar to what you're saying, right? A lot of engineers, when you go, I'm thankful. I've only worked with great guys here in the city. The only other 2 guys I've worked with is Steve Brown. Shout out Steve.
He masters the audio for this podcast.
Oh my God! Shout out Steve. Love you, guy. Great things. A couple of my songs are mixed and mastered in same session with him. I was like super happy with how they came out, to the point where I'm like, these are ready to go, and many people agree with it, in my opinion. And then Coop Productions. Have you ever heard of Coop?
Shout out, I know Coop.
Yeah, I love Coop. But yeah, I've only worked with great guys. You get what I'm saying? So I'm really lucky in a situation where I've chosen to work with really great people, and but I also feel like I know what the product I'm working with. You know, I have an idea, I have a picture, everything. Like I said, I'm trying to give people a visual. So I think I need to work with people who want to hone in that sound and get the range that I'm working in.
Any plans for any videos or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually want to do a giant one take. This is definitely spoiling things, but I've story blocked all my songs. Like every single song in my discography has an idea for a video, and I could shoot and record it in one day. But a lot of it is like I can't make the background that I want, or I'm just gonna have to work with certain things, and I don't think I'm willing to make that sacrifice yet. So I do have. So this is kind of like, I'm gonna drop the blip here for the people that listen. I have a really special sequel mixtape to my first mixtape that I'm looking to drop either at the start of summer or towards the start of fall. A lot of it, what I'm waiting on now, is final recordings and then clearance from the producer. This is the first time I've chosen to get all my beats, all my sound from one producer. And so because of that, you hear a lot of growth in my writing. You see a lot of growth in the production put together. But I also feel like this is a good way of me entering the niche if I can get his cosign on it. And he's verbally approved. Now it's up to somebody else's decision now, which is always the hard part. But if it doesn't go my way, it's still going to come out, and I think it's going to be a banger of a tape. I have Anthony Cannon featured on it. I have Kruger featured on it. And then I also have some solo tracks that I think show some different directions of me. And all of that's recorded with Zach G and engineered by Zach G. And he's helped just build confidence in like what I'm doing, and also like understand what am I trying to make? What is my goal to future, right? And a big one is I want to sing eventually. So I need to know my voice.
So fun domino. I took a few months of singing lessons.
Love that.
from Michael Leary's singing coach.
Okay.
But they ended up moving from Destiny to way out. I can't remember where, but it would have been like an hour and a half. Obviously, I'm kind of out here.
Yeah.
So it would have been like an hour and a half drive for me to go and see her. It just wasn't in the budget anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not realistic sometimes.
It wasn't, and I'm going to be honest, I would need a lot of work to get to the range I even aspire to. So part of me was just like, you know what, I'll just be who I am at this point. And Do I want to go at it? Yeah, I think I would have better results with just like piano lessons. I don't want that mountain on you.
No, you're good.
With like piano lessons, if I'm talking about just like I don't know if risk to reward is the word I'm looking for, but just
yeah. I mean, like that's the hard part, right? So there's always a battle we're facing that comes with time, you know. And sadly, like I know I'm young in a lot of ways, and so I have a lot of time to work with. I'm 23.
Okay.
But I think no matter what, you're always calculating that risk, right? And so I agree with you. As any artist, your number one risk to reward ratio is learning piano. Because if you learn piano, you'll learn the master of instruments.
And that's why I like to study it. It's just because that's where
everything starts.
The base comes.
It's just like there's so much to the core of learning piano because you learn music theory.
That's
whether
where
you
I'm
want
trying to
or
grasp
not.
theory is by just fucking riffing on the piano.
Bro, and you just like, and that's one of the things, even if you don't think you know music theory, you know music theory. It's something like, not to say you know it and you feel it, but you feel it and you know it.
Feeling it is it's a pretty interesting thing. It's something you said earlier makes me think of, I've been like, it's just actually been a goal for way longer than it should have been because I could have accomplished it by now. But I've been like slowly learning how to play Ruth B's Lost Boy on the piano. And I would love to like do a show where I do that. And there's a singer named Ashley I would like to have like come up and perform the actual song.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
Okay.
What would be your dream cover set? You get 5 songs. All
that
covers
I get to cover?
That you get to cover, your choice. Any range, it doesn't matter, you'll complete them.
Well, I've been working on a list of shit I'm gonna cover, so I can I know one of them off the top of my head, Scotty Doesn't Know.
Okay, yeah.
You know the song I'm talking about?
Oh, congratulations on Warped Tour, by the way. I haven't got there yet, but congratulations, bro. Have to.
I know I also want to where's my cover list? I've made a list. Cover songs. So I would definitely do like I Like It Raw by ODB.
Okay.
And I would like to transition that into a remix where it's like I have like 3 women background singers and they're doing like, hey, Vinny, baby, I got some money, don't you worry. Say hey. You know, and that's something that's like high on my list.
Fire.
Lot of Marilyn Manson. I'm a big Manson fan.
Okay.
And what I like about the idea of covering a Marilyn Manson song is most of his songs are covers in a sense anyway. So it's like
they're reconstructions of reconstructions.
Yeah,
you know?
So it's like I would love to just tear those down and rebuild a cover of his cover. And I feel like that would be a fun thing. I
think those are always most tasteful things to do. You know?
I would like to actually do an entire show where the band only covers songs created only for movies and shows, in the sense of like dude, we were ripping them off the other night and I'm fucking drawing. You know what it is I'm gonna be honest, my fucking fridge is open from grabbing those waters and I can still see it, and it's been fucking on my mind.
Go lock that shit down, big dog. It's the OCD. It's real. It's real. This is why we gotta finish tasks, folks. Finish tasks.
It's all I can fucking see. And I can't ask John because he's
locked in
with lasers.
He's locked in.
He's locked in by lasers. But yeah. Fuck. I can't believe I can't think of any of the like. Obviously, Scotty Doesn't Know is one of those ones because the song created just fucking. You ever see Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
No, but I've heard of the movie.
So in that movie, they created an entire album for the made-up character that Russell Brand plays.
Oh.
And Russell Brand just happened to make like 8 bangers of just like great alternative, like alt-rock. Because he's playing an alt-rock character. And as that character, he made an entire album of just, like he's got this one song called We Got the Clap.
No way.
And it's like, you know, everybody's excited and they're like, we got the clap. She's got the clap. Dude, it's like, it's a hit. He's got another one called Inside of You.
Oh my God.
But they're all joke songs too, but they're also like, damn, these are fucking good.
What's, it's kind of like, it's like Lonely Island, but in a movie.
Honestly, better than Lonely Island. Because Lonely Island was designed to be a parody.
This is like
them being a parody, and it is actually good. So it's like, I don't, maybe it's just my perspective on it.
Nah, it's such a paradox.
I almost get like super angry about shit like that because I try so hard to make good music, and he just like fucked off, it made a good song. No, Rainwater.
I think like there's so many things. Like for example, I would do it in that reference. I would do a Chip Skylark song, Fairly Odd Parents.
Shiny teeth in me, shiny teeth in me.
Hey Vicky, you're so icky. I don't wanna be around you because you're There's so many. Oh my god! Like that's the thing. I'm very nostalgic. So like, there's so many like kid shows specifically that I could think of. I'm not sure. Remember, Everybody Hates Chris, the dude who played young Chris Rock. He played a character in a Disney movie that was ended up like rapping. So I would do one of the songs he rapped.
Okay.
Like there's so many different things, but like that's such a good one. Shit. Technically,
dude, some shiny teeth in me is a slapper. You got to put that on the lineup. I can't believe I'm drawing blanks because there's some good.
There's so many good ones.
We were on Discord the other day just ripping them off because just me, just the boys. You know what I'm saying? Just in a chat, we'd fucking. What the fuck were
Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, like there's
just. What other song? Just the song itself?
Yeah, I mean the theme song.
Yeah, just the theme song.
The theme song
you could do dozens of theme songs.
Yeah, that's the hard part too. We could do just theme songs.
You could do a whole theme
that's
song.
why I'm trying not to think of theme songs specifically.
It was. Do you watch It's Always Sunny at all?
Yes.
So like some of the some of Charlie's songs. Fuck. I'm forgetting.
Like who were musicians in cartoons? That's a good one. That's a good way for us to answer shit. You get
it doesn't have to be just cartoons. It has to be.
No, like there's other shows in general, but like I'm horrible with like regular shows. I think like the only character I'm thinking of right now is like, didn't Slater from Full House? Fucking like that's such a pull. That's such a mythical pull,
dude. That is not in my lexicon.
Damn.
You got.
What kind of media you fuck with? Like, what's some of your favorite shows? We can fucking rip it there. It sounded like you know a thing or two about about Pokemans.
Bro, so I'm all over the place, man. So I have horrible fixations. So like every like couple weeks, a couple months, it just hops into something new. And so I have a million interests, and it depends. I'm really bad at watching things, especially like movies and TV shows, unless it gets me off the hook. Like there's a punching interest, there's something intriguing about it. It usually doesn't get me to sit there. So I watch a lot of YouTube. Like today, so I just got my CRV on the road. I got an 06 CRV. It's my little project car. So I have it on I have it on coils. It has a camber kit on it. I have I think they're 18 inch Honda Performance rims on it.
So you're into fucking cars?
A little bit. And I got into cars a lot later.
Dude fucks cars. You heard it? He admitted it right here on the show.
Oh my God.
No. Yeah. That's
my muffler's too small for that. Actually, my muffler came off my car, so I don't have a muffler right now. It's a little fart can.
Wonder how.
Actually, so if you want to know fun story, little sidetrack. This car I got for my mom with my brother, because she wanted a little Honda. And one day she's reversing into the driveway, and I'm just sitting. This is like the middle of summer, and I'm just sitting in our little patio chair, and I just see her reversing, and I'm like, there's no like, why is the muffler hanging? Why is the muffler hanging? And so all you see is the muffler on its hinges. Like, you know how the muffler has the rubber grommets and it's hanging off those. The actual connection between the 2-inch pipe and the muffler itself, like, completely rusted off. So you just see the muffler bouncing as she's reversing into the driveway. So as she gets off, I literally just kick it and it just comes off the hanger. So yeah, it has had a muffler since, and I'm currently looking to buy an exhaust. Fun fact. But no, in terms of media, I think the last thing I genuinely watched, I don't even know. I think, is it Bad Boys? I think I watched up to like season 2 of Bad Boys, which is like...
Bad Boys, like the fucking Martin Lawrence?
Nah, I think it's called...
series?
Nah, it's a superhero series.
Oh, The Boys?
The Boys. There you go. The Boys? Close enough.
Yeah.
You see?
Amazon Prime header?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Big smacker.
Everybody keeps telling me about it. Have not fucking dove into it at all. Everybody tells me I love it. I heard it's pretty graphic.
It's pretty graphic. It's like the best thing, the way I could describe it is like realistic superheroes. It's
very Watchmen. You ever see The Watchmen?
I've loved The Watchmen. I've seen The Watchmen. Watchmen is a little more like methodical. Like, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's still like a Tarantino movie, you know? It's very like I don't know. I think the best way I could describe Watchmen is cynical. I
respect that.
I think The Boys. The best way I could describe it is like, homie, like type shit. Like type shit. Like it's just like it's like this. Like imagine if we were just chopping the shit, but we also had powers. Like that's just the inevitable.
So just like the dialogue is very relatable.
Everything about it is really relatable except the fact that they have powers. So, but because you have powers, there's consequences behind it.
The only time I've been captivated by a book was because that the way that like the dialogue in the book was so modern at the time when I was like in school. I was like, holy fuck! I feel like I'm just like.
I think yeah, bro. Like I very agree. If that's like the take that interests you, I think the Boys would definitely be like the shit you fuck with because like there's always characters in the show that you're like damn.
I'm gonna see if homie can add that to the Plex because. I'm anti-subscriptions right now.
Nah, that's real. Shit. The only reason I pay for half of it is because my girl wants to watch something.
I am from an era where you used to be able to fucking buy a piece of software and have it.
You know what? I think that's so funny, bro.
You buy a game and you have it.
Bro, because it's a transition. Now it's all a fucking rental. Dude, VHSs were my shit, bro. You know, first anime I watched, Dragon Ball, VHS. I remember the episode and everything, big dog. That shit planted the seed.
The dude who painted this... His grandfather is the original animator of Dragon Ball Z.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Weird. At least, I mean, it's funny because if you met him, you'd be like, I believe you. So in my defense, I have no certificate of authenticity.
Nah, I believe you. Like, my thing is like...
But if you saw his art, you're like, he's gotta fucking be... He does these he's from Florida, he does these jean jackets with like the whole... Hand-painted the whole dragon and shit on it, and like...
Fire.
His art is fucking crazy.
Fire. That dude. So like, I don't know. That's like the hard part. Some people, there's always a different form of artistry that's really interesting, you know, because I'm not going to say it's hereditary, but it's in somebody.
I've been captivated. Like, so are you an anime guy?
Yeah, to a certain degree. I've definitely watched a fair amount. Not a lot of the modern shit though. Yeah. Some certain things I haven't watched. So so like the big shit I've watched. Like I've watched all of, like the stereotypical Naruto. I've watched half of One Piece. I've watched Bleach. I watched a lot of smaller shit. I'm into Gundam. Like I'm really into Gundam. I watched all the Yu-Gi-Oh animes. Actually, really into Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Digimon competitively at one point. That was my shit.
I couldn't ever grasp even the game of Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh was a little, and I don't even know if I ever Yu-Gi-Oh'd right. We just kind of Yu-Gi-Oh'd how we played it, which the homies dueled.
Dude, now it feels like you're playing a fucking.
When was the last time you dueled somebody in Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh, dude! At one point, I think like 2 years ago, I was Diamond in Master Duel.
I was like 24. Probably last time I dueled, I was 24 years old.
Last time I like physically dueled somebody, shit, probably been I was probably at least like 2 years as well.
Digitally dueling?
Yeah, I digitally. So it became an online platform when I came back. Yeah. So I got when it first came out, the highest rank was Diamond, and so I reached Diamond at one point.
I'd only played if I had like a fucking wristband.
Dude, I wish Dual Disc were real, bro. I promise you right now, they give me a Dual Disc, they put me on a platform, and that motherfucker comes up 3D. I'm never leaving the platform.
Why doesn't Mr. Beast do that?
Yo, so like, there's a lot of reasons. They could put Hatsune Miku up on stage and make that bitch twerk for a bunch of Japanese dudes. They could put us some Blue Eyes White Dragon in front of us. I promise you right now.
This is what we need to do. We'll get like a little football field, okay? We'll get 2 duelers on each end. And then we'll get on each sideline. We'll get everybody dressed up like your deck.
Your deck.
Yes.
No, the worst part about it,
all the monsters, the homies gotta like run in, and they gotta.
Yo, I think the worst part about it has to be the OG, just Yugi versus Kaiba. Fuck all the modern shit, because I don't think you understand like the modern shit.
No, it's why
I got like a 12 turn combo. You feel me? In one turn, I could go through half my deck, summon 4 motherfuckers, and be like, you win or you lose, baby.
Pot of greed and pull 1 card from my deck. Fucking.
Dude, like for example, craziest, like first, a lot of people, this will be the craziest rule change. In Yu-Gi-Oh, person who goes first can't draw first turn. You don't get to draw. That's immediately 1-up. It became so powerful in Yu-Gi-Oh that drawing on your first turn meant if you got a good draw, you won the duel. They didn't need a turn. You locked them out. That's how deep that shit got.
I fell off. That's why I fell off of Pokemon for like when I was a kid, and then like I dove into like base 2, And then we got into like the second gens, the Houndooms. I fuck with the Houndoom.
Yo, Jungle, Fossil.
I fuck with the little,
I should have brought my cards.
Little fur alligator. I've been whatnotting.
Cyndaquil was my shit, dog.
I've been whatnotting.
You've been whatnot?
Yeah.
Dog.
Hey, I've been selling cards on Whatnot, but then I found out about buying on Whatnot. And that's fucking
the worst part, I'm gonna tell you right now. Are you buying grade or are you buying raw?
I was doing spin wheels for ETBs.
You're gambling, bro.
I'm gonna tell you this right now is probably the best fun. Holy shit, dude, chasing the dragon.
I've never understood gambling edition till the other day, dude.
Pokemon.
Dude, we had to put the phone away. Listen, we had, all right, it was like a fucking...
Dude, the itch.
It was like a 1 in 50 chance to get an ETB at fucking 30 beans, dude. I'm fucking... Prismatic Evolution.
Oh, my God.
No, you won't. You ain't going to the store getting no prismatics.
Not prismatic.
Yeah, I ended up with 2 Japanese packs. I spent $70 for 4 total because we went in one more time. Well, then the odds got closer, so then I had to go in again.
And then we saw the 151 box.
Because there's good probability.
I would have caved for the 151 box. Right, 151 is definitely my favorite modern set,
listen,
bro.
You had
that
like
so gas.
It was out of like 50 of the spins. There was like 4 ETBs. Like you had 4 chances to win an ETB, and then like 3 chances to win a 150, and then they throw up little single pass. I'm also about to steal their fucking their gimmick because I like their gimmick. That's a good way to rip it.
Listen. 5 out of 50 would have made it 10%, so you had just under a 10% chance. That's not a horrible gamble, but I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Like,
dude. If you know how much we spend on gas traveling around for fucking Pokemon cards,
oh my God,
you don't have a 10% chance of getting fucking Pokemon cards in general. So
dude,
at least
don't. At least I got some. We're just falling for the fucking scalpers,
so do you
bro.
Do you want to know my? I have a Pokemon conspiracy theory. I'm glad we're here.
I watch a lot of PokeTalk, bro, and I watch a lot of PokeTube.
Okay,
dude, like I watch a lot of card openings. Like I'm big in the card world, bro. So we could talk about cards the rest of this podcast.
Let's get it.
If you want to go at it, bro. All right, before you go at it, I just want to talk my shit real quick.
Say it.
I have 99 out of 102 of the original base set.
I have the base set.
You have all the base set. I don't have the trio.
French.
That's funny. I'm trying.
My bad. Spanish.
That's not bad. I take Spanish. So I'm not big into other languages.
Beat.
Dude, all mine. I don't care about condition. When you're collecting anything WotC, if you're collecting anything Wizard of the Coast, bro, if you got the card, it survived. Bro, it survived our childhood. You know how many cards went through crumble pockets, burnt lighters, motherfuckers ass cracks?
I had the base set before I glued it to my wall.
Bro!
As a kid. Glued it.
Yeah, real.
So many bike wheels.
So you see what I'm saying? So if we own any of these cards today, I call it a blessing. It's survival. So I don't care what condition. If it got, as long as the sticker's not peeling off of it, I call it good. You get what I'm saying? So I have that's the thing, because I'm not picky. If we all wanted near mint, my collection wouldn't be. Because I just the pockets don't agree with it, bro. Let's just be real. I just want the card. I just wanted to look at it pretty. You feel what I'm saying? That's a pretty, I don't care. You got a pretty bitch Charizard, and guess what? I'm going to look at that motherfucker whether it's Espanol or not.
Yeah, come on.
You feel me? So that's mi amigo Charizard.
Yeah.
So I get it. I fully get it. But back to talking my shit. I have most of base set 2 unlimited. I have 25 out of the 40 Nintendo promos. So the first promos that dropped when Nintendo split. I just picked up a Rayquaza Delta species. I got it on a bid because I was bored and I just looked up what's the coolest Rayquaza card. I got it for $10, and the funniest part about it was a reverse, not a holo, so it has the Delta species stamp. Reverse is double the monetary value.
Which I don't love that factor, but
dude, that's the weird part. I hated
the reverse holos when they came out.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this,
bro?
They kind of pissed me off. Like the base set reverse holos, I was like, what the fucking...
I just the hard part is
pimping out here, dude, because I ain't buying it.
Shit. But the worst part about it is that I think reverse holos now are so boo boo in comparison to the old ones, at least, bro. Because I have the OG
those
Entei.
Things, the way they used, and now I sound like a hypocrite because the way they sparked on old reverse holo was
was crystal.
Was hard.
Now it's like everything's reversed, bro. And that's where I'm kind of a little annoyed by it. You know, that's the thing. I don't really fuck with a lot of modern unless it's like an illustration rare.
You ever open Japanese packs? They're like all hollow. Almost every card's hollow.
I haven't opened Japanese packs. Shout out my boy Matty Skates, Rhoda Ronin. That man, Rhoda Ronin gets me fucking on my dog. Shout out Rhoda Ronin. He got me on a fucking, like, we'll go off about Japanese cards because he goes crazy as well. If you need to talk to anybody, this motherfucker opens packs every day.
Yeah, no.
Every day.
I went, he was live on Instagram one time and I was just showing him a couple of my slabs and shit.
Yeah, that's the shit. So we can motherfucking have a fucking Pokemon podcast. I swear to God. But he opens Japanese like crazy and he always, like, I'm on the verge of getting the it, but I just can't collect a whole nother language, bro, because I'd be the type of person that wants both. And then that's the shit where it gets hard too. Have you seen the classic Pokemon in Japanese? I would kill for a base set Charizard in Japanese, bro. That shit is so fire. Like the OG Wizard of the Coast Japanese cards are so nice, but like, I need to commit to one first. Like, I need to lock myself in. Because that's the thing, too. I go too crazy.
I know exactly what you're saying. I'm just trying to finish my Shining Fates collection right now. And then and then I'll worry about other cards after that.
Shining Fates is such a good set, bro. Shining Fates is such a good set.
Just trying to finish that up. And then we'll go from there. I'll figure out what I want to keep after that.
But, like, to give you an example, when I played Digimon, I had like 5 decks in my rotation. Those are 50 card decks. And I had max rarity 2 of them, bro. And one of them at their peak, because of the competitive game, it was a really competitive deck, was like $1,000 deck. And I'm like, damn, dog, I'm doing this to play on my Saturday and Sunday. I'm not even placing at regionals, you know. And then my homeboy, shout out Avocado. His last name is Avo. We call him Avocado. He goes to school out in Seneca Falls, so he would come to North Syracuse up to Mattydale to play with us every weekend. And he actually took he placed at nationals. He took top 32. He made second day, which is like, that was the first year we had nationals here in America. So that shit was tough. Like, he was tough, you know. So he made a couple live streams. There was a couple thousand views watching him. So that was our dog. But then he comes back with us, and we be throwing shit at him. Like, we be giving him all the sauce. There's some days where he's not even topping at our weekends, you know?
And he fucking is ranked.
And you know, he's a top dog out in the nation. So it's one of those things where, like, it's hard to compare people, and at the end of the day, it's just not your day. When you're playing cards, like Pokemon, playing Pokemon competitive is so fun if you love to gamble, but you also gotta accept the L. Because I've learned playing competitive Pokemon is like, it's a 60-40 win. It's 60% deck making, and all the decks are out there. You could create crazy shit, but all the best decks are out there already. There's like 20 in rotation all the time. But after that, it's just matchup and gamble. The timing of things. It's literally a flip of the coin for almost everything in Pokemon.
Yeah, I've never understood like the whole game itself. I've always wanted to sit down with somebody who actually knows how to play and actually.
They released the app, right? And the app, the online collecting, you shouldn't get it for just the pack ripping, but you should get it because it's a miniature version of the game. It plays the exact same as how you play the cards, except it's half the length. So normally you get 6 lives and you have to kill 6 Pokemon or get 6 prize cards. In the app, it's just 3. And then EX is those big cards we all see. Those are 2 prize cards. So because there's only 3 points, if you knock one of those, you get 2. You're almost there to win, and it's eventually battle. If mine got 60, yours got 60, somebody's gonna knock each other out first. You get what I'm saying? That's what I mean by timing. You know, so you need to know when to move your card out, when to put another one in. So it could get like semi-complicated, but even the longest games, because you only get 20 cards in your deck, it's like 15 turns, you know? So it's a really short, the app makes it a really easy and short way to focus. And you could translate that in real life really easy, bro.
Interesting.
Yeah, bro. And you own a bunch of cards. So the hard part about playing...
could be a fucking pack master, dude. Just come start fucking battling fucking...
Dude, there's so many places, too. There's shout out Unplugged Gaming out in Manlius. They sponsor a team.
I fuck with Unplugged.
Yeah, they sponsor a team. So my boy...
Larger than life, I don't know how I feel about you.
Yeah, larger than life. Y'all need to support other games than Magic the Gathering. I love to go into the store, but they only support Magic the Gathering. And I get it, it's a money thing, but like it's also a specific crowd. Some people stink.
I was just about to say
that's sadly like there's a certain
stankies,
dude. There's always a stereotype of like, oh, you go to a gaming store and you go to a card store and people are stinky. They lack hygiene, but like it's really not that bad in most card games or most people. There's always like the one introverted person, but like in Magic the Gathering, it's for some reason just at a higher ratio. Like that's just the reality of it. Like it's just like really at a higher ratio.
That is funny.
You know, there's no other way.
I wonder
for
if
me
there's
to put
a meter of some sort that, you know how like, okay, you see how like the decimals of sound on the little waves.
Yes, sir.
He's measuring the sound.
We need a stank meter.
Yes, we need stank meter.
Yo, nah, I bet at a gaming store if they put like a buzzer, right, and every time someone smacked it, it would ring up, and once it hit the max, it would ring. That's the stank meter, right? If enough people were like, "Damn, that dude's stinky," you just walk up, you hit it. If enough people hit it, that rings off the stank meter.
That's good.
Somebody, we gotta be like, everybody put on deodorant, go use the bathroom, go fix yourself.
The problem with that though is that then everybody's got to be like, wait, all right, the stink meter's going off. Who is it?
Who's stinky?
So if we have like a stink meter detector that you have to walk through before the convention, you're like, bud, you actually can't be in here.
You know what? Look, I don't fuck with AI, but if AI could smell, I think AI would be able to tell who's stinky.
This might be censused in the sense of like a. But dude, you know, some people body odor.
Some people have poor hygiene. That's the thing. Everybody has body odor. And I'm not pleasant.
Well, some people just have like glandular issues too, like thyroid issues and shit. But it's also like, dude, deodorant up. Dude.
Yeah.
Put an extra stick down. Rock an air freshener.
Use some cologne. Make sure you use some lotion after you shower. You know, like create a routine. Create a routine.
Get balanced. Get balanced. So yeah, we're gonna work on stink meters. A stink meter detector, because then when you walk in, you got to walk through it. That way, like, you know, security's just like, whoa, you can bring your gun, but not that fucking odor.
yo, the security for the stink meter are just armed with deodorant. They just pull out deodorant sticks.
They just got fucking.
Or they got the spray cans, the Axe spray cans.
It's not mace. It's just fucking. It's Axe.
That shit burns the same. The smell. Okay, but for real, you'll see a mixture of people playing Pokemon. For Magic, it's definitely some more stankers. For Yu-Gi-Oh, you definitely find some stankies as well. Not a ton. All my folks in Digimon, it's a lot smaller of a competitive card game, so I haven't met any people, but I bet there's someone that's stanky. But at the end of the day, I bet there's someone that's stanky everywhere. There's always somebody that's
in every collector's realm. There's
been some
hygiene's an issue. Bro, I be sorting cards for getting a shower. I get it, dude.
Okay, but you can't be forgetting a shower and then coming in the room with 30 other motherfuckers.
No,
and you're
can't.
Gonna sweat elbow grease to elbow grease with your cardboard in your hands. You're just creating more elbow grease in your hands.
And you're ruining the cards with the oily fingers.
That's why we put sleeves on them.
But so my conspiracy theory is that Pokemon was popping. Like, I got back on because the XY evolutions, because they had the artwork.
That's like 2018, 2019, around there. Like just
and then that what was in stores at that time, because I found out about them after they released.
Okay, yeah.
And then what was in the store at that time was like Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze.
Yeah.
Which are borderline worthless now. I invested a lot more money into those cards than I'd like to admit.
Darkness Ablaze really.
Yeah, that
was set specifically.
About 10% of this podcast is us opening Darkness Ablaze booster boxes, because that's just like,
dude, I bet those VODs are just crazy fucking crack that you live through.
I ended up eating acid and watching Logan Paul do that box when he did the first edition box pull that he did, and I was like, dude, I'm back.
Dude, I think that right there caused the damn, I don't want to cut in your conspiracy theory, but good. There was such a boom.
That fucking rebumped the value of the cards in general, which I'm not even mad.
I'm not mad at that, but the hard part is that there's so much about the boom that's led to the like reduction in how like Nintendo releases Pokemon cards, bro.
I agree.
Because sets have gotten bigger, the rarities have gotten crazier, pull rates are still just as shitty. Like, Pokemon is the only set that doesn't have ratios. You know that? Mm-hmm. You know that? Out of all the card games, if you buy a booster box of Pokemon, you can't guarantee how many ratios of how many cards you're supposed to get. Well, there is no guarantee.
They know what they're doing. That's also what makes them sick.
But that's what makes it fucked.
That's what makes it rare, though.
Kind of, but
if you
like
kind of had a fucking probability, you could just borderline count cards. The seek is in the thrill of it and the fact that it's
but like you're still gonna get that if you actually number yourself well, right? So like that's the hard part, right? Especially with Pokemon, especially on the way they're doing it. Because if you have on the average 220 some cards in your set plus 25 secret rares, quote unquote, right? Or illustration rares that you don't count in the number list, right? That's 200 or something on the cards. A booster box only has 36 packs. In one pack has how many cards now? 9, 10, somewhere around there. So you do the number, you end up getting a certain amount of cards, right? But there's only so many cards at every ratio, right? So you'll get duplicates of some. But at the end of the day, for most card games, to give you an example, right? Let's count, right? We got common, uncommon, rares, and then because of Pokemon, you have all the you have double rare, and then you have secret rare, and then you have illustration rares, and then you have the holo rarities for everything. So reverse holo, regular holo, and other shit like that. Regular holo for rares and up, reverse holo for almost every card in the set, right? So that creates a lot of ratio, right? At the end of the day, that means there's up to damn near double to triple the amount of cards in the listed number in Pokemon. That makes it up to almost 600 cards in some sets, realistically. Different cards.
If you're talking about if you want a set of every kind of card that set released, basically.
Yes, right? And so in that concept, right, you can seed it and still make it in Pokemon's concept where you buy a case, 12 boxes, 12 booster boxes, and still not pull every card. That's how they could adjust their ratios due to the rarity.
I feel you. In a case, you should have at least every fucking card.
Not necessarily, but you should know that I'm getting one secret rare out of every 2 boxes, right?
So with that being said, usually out of every ETB, you are 9 times out of 10, you are to have 4 packs that hit. That it is mathematical. That's what everybody says,
right? But like that's the hard part, right? Because if you buy a case of ETBs, I think a case of ETBs is 10, right? 10. If you buy 10, right?
Let you get that Poké Center.
And then how many? There's 8 packs in ETB.
No, so with the prismatic ones, there's 9 in the. They rob you. It's always usually been 10,
right?
And then with prismatic, what they did was. The Pokemon Center ones have the extra. I think they have an extra 2 packs.
Yeah, Pokemon Center always comes with 11.
Oh, they always do? Oh, so now Walmart we got robbed on Walmart and they took away a pack. So
the mass distribution sale, the grand consumer sale outside of Nintendo exclusive only have 9, right? So if you have 9 packs and 10, that's 90 packs, right?
Yeah.
In those 90 packs, right? That's the hard part. If you actually open all those 90s and separate them by ATBs, you'll have some that are duds and you'll have some that are higher ratios. But that's not guaranteed in every single case. Every case is going to be different than each other. So the likelihood is possible. That's what they average out to. But if you actually look at people who've opened a dozen cases of whatever product you have, it still ranges so high.
Oh, yeah.
That's the hard part, right? Well, if we look at a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Yu-Gi-Oh has a regular card, a rare, which is just gold bouldering, and then holos. And then you have super rares, which are holos with gold bouldering, ultra rares. You have holos, rares with gold bouldering, regular commons. Then you have ultra rares, which are gold bouldering and holos. And then you have, I think, one more rarity usually, depending on it too. Right, and then special sets give others, right? But in one set, even if they put a maximum of like 140 cards, right? The disparity because of different variations is usually not that many in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's still about 200 cards in a set. So it's a lot easier to pull all those same cards, but even in one case, you're not going to pull a play set of every card because one box will only have 4 to 6 super rares, 2 to 3 ultras, and depending, you either get a secret or you'll get an extra ultra. Or 2 ultras, right? That's how they'll do the ratios, right? And that's how most card games do it. In Pokemon and Digimon, you'll get, I think it's 10 cards a pack. You get 24 packs in a box. In one box, you'll pull 4 to 5 super rares, which are the holographic cards higher than rares. They have alternate arts in that game for everything raring up. So you'll pull either 2 alternate arts or you'll pull a secret and an alternate art. So even if you open a case, you won't get one of every single card because of the alternate arts. You'll still pull one of the base edition of every card, right? Even when you open a case of Pokemon, that still isn't guaranteed, you know, when you only have 2 secrets in a set, every set. But then you have secret illustration rares, SIRs, right? And then you have 2 dozen illustration rares, which also take up a reverse holo slot sometimes, you know? And then you have 25 different holo rares, right? There isn't a guaranteed number in Pokemon, which is what makes it the true gamble, which is one, what people leads the opening of packs and chase, which one is the distribution. 2, they robbed you, right? Because Pokemon has been doing this for a long time. If you look at the price of packs before the pandemic and then now, it's been a constant raise, and it wasn't because of the pandemic. It's because the
Retail
consumer
price
and
isn't
demand.
much, though. Retail hasn't changed much since I was a kid. Bullshit.
Back when I was collecting them, I would get them at the flea market for $1.
Yeah, flea market. You go to a gas station, they've always been $5.
No. When I was a kid, they were $3.99.
Dude, $1 inflation in 20 years?
Dude, they were $3.99 to like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, you got to think though, as a consumer, we were dumb enough to allow that to happen because of the fact of the matter that we were buying it at that. So why wouldn't the company?
So they raced. Yeah. So Pokemon literally raced, and that's the thing too.
It'd be dumb not to.
It really wouldn't, right? But then they started doing that more. Then the ratios changed because they started adding more rarities, you know? Then they started adding EX. Then they brought back EXs. Then they brought back level, you know? Like the Pokemon started adding different things that have always been added to the game. But then they started enlarging sets by large disparity, you know? We started mixing regions by large disparity. That's not a problem, but when you start looking at the prices of ETBs were at $1.3999 MSRP. You know, that's a lot less than what they are. And then I thought that too, they were a lot common. And then they also have the issue of just people who don't play Pokemon who buy for the sell. That's the secondary issue that we have with the market. Is there's a certain inflation with Pokemon themselves and Nintendo knowing what they're doing, and you can't necessarily blame a company for a ton of it, but at the end of the day too, you kill the consumer by doing certain things. You know, like right now, it's hard for kids to get invested in a Pokemon, you know, because they can't get packs, you know. And when they do get packs, why does their parent want to pay $55, $60 for
Yeah,
an
but
ETB?
Pokemon have done things like they got the trick-or-treat packs, they got the McDonald's giveaway packs, and I think that's a good way to keep the children involved, which does create because, you know, if kids don't care about it in 10 years, the cards will hold no value. So I do agree on that that's where, like, when people are grabbing them from McDonald's, people are getting pissed because of that reason. And I was like, ooh, as a person, I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that.
You know? But then there's also the thing of, like, you have people who don't play Pokemon, but then they'll buy 4 cases. They sell secondhand, they get distributor level, and then they start buying retail product from distributors, and then they hold it, right? So there's people who have lockers and trunks and containers and rooms full of, like, cases, bro, and fresh shipment cracks. And like, I don't hate people because I still I love cards, and a lot of reason why I keep cards is at some point when my kids are going to college or whatever, if they need something, well, these were mine. I treasured them at some point. I gave them all the looks, love, and care. Do what you want with them, you know, whether you want to sell it or not, that's up to you. But like, that's a prized possession of mine. That's the best way I could put it. And so there's monetary value behind that, great, but I'm not doing it for the monetary value. You know, I'm doing it for the fun, the love, and like the gamble. You know, I love opening packs. Opening a fresh booster box is so fucking crisp. It's just ripping off the seal, cracking them through. Do you do the pack trick where you pull the cards forward and leave the hollow in the back?
Yeah,
you know, like
2-3 count. You know,
like there's something about it. And
is it white card magic?
Ooh, is it green? Do you have the green? Do you know it's a dud? But that depends on the set too. Like when I think Sun and Moon, green were duds, and then it changed and greens became good hits if you had one.
Because I remember getting confused when it switched because I was like, no.
You know, so that are and there's little things like that. But then we take the L on that because Prismatic, almost every single Pokemon set, the last I think 151 is really where it locked in specifically. People buy so much sealed and save it sealed that the sealed product becomes horrible to buy, right? Because you can't find it in stores, and when you do buy it off someone, it costs a lot more. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes a difficult situation.
Well, that's how Pokemon's been around for so long, is because you got to realize that if they allowed something as you got every set from if you bought a whole booster bundle 10, it doesn't create a want.
100%.
You got to realize that as a standpoint that they can't guarantee hits because honestly, that's what keeps people coming back is to get that hit. So like a Yu-Gi-Oh, that's a game. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I'll be honest.
I think the game they created is trying to catch the card.
Yes, like because it's like, let's be honest, because how they started it was they like I started off with like I love the Pokemon games.
Didn't the base sets you were guaranteed?
Yeah, to a certain degree as well. I think it was like four like hollows every box in base set and base set 2.
I was just talking to somebody at a card convention the other day, and he was talking about the fossil box that he had, and he was saying that you're guaranteed every hit card in the fossil.
But that's also because that was Wizards of the Coast making the cards and not Nintendo. And Wizards of the Coast has lost the consumer completely. Like, we could talk about Magic in a completely different setting because Magic doesn't have MSRP anymore. So stores decided. The secondary market decided. Wizards of the Coast let the secondary market completely decide their card values. And they don't listen to the consumer. So it's become such a war between people who love the card game and can't support it anymore and people who just love playing card.
Shoes got very similar, I feel like. And I feel like instead of I felt like it got impossible for like Nike and Jordan to combat resellers to where they just started making shittier products with a higher rate so everybody can get it, and then that way.
Yeah, and so like I don't know, but that also leads back to like, for example, we can talk. What was I can't remember the set. Has Rayquaza on it. They reprinted
Evolving Cries.
Yes, Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is a really popular set. It's still really high demand.
Yeah, I have an ETB of that.
So the crazy part about Evolving Skies is Evolving Skies got reprinted like 4 times throughout its lifespan, right? So even long after the release date and they stopped producing it, they reprinted it like 3 times and it kept its value. And it's one of the few packs that do that in the modern era. And a big reason why is because it was before that like big sealed boom where people were holding on, keeping their seal to sell it. So there was a lot of people went through their product chasing the cards. So the demand for it was super high, and Pokemon realized that because I think at some point, while I think is it Brilliant Stars is the one that came after that. Vivid Voltage is in the same series, but those packs were going for secondary like sub MSRP, which are what most packs go for around the same time they're released, right? But Evolving Skies was sitting at almost $10 a pack. You know, so they were reprinting it in tins and they were reprinting it in boxes. Like for example, you guys remember the Charizard Premium Collection? How they reprinted the shit out of that because at first it was super limited, and then everybody wanted it, and the demand for it was so crazy they printed 1 million of them. So then you started going to the store and they were fucking everywhere. Like, I remember going to GameStop and they had 2 left. I saw a dude pick it up. I was like, yo, y'all still have any of those? Like, I could buy one right now. And they're like, nah, we only had 10 pre-orders. We only got 11 shipped to the store. Someone claimed the last one. So if they don't pick up the last one, then I'll sell it to you. I called the store like 3 days later and they're like, nah, he picked it up. Then 2 weeks later, I'm seeing them everywhere on all store shelves, right? After the YouTube boom, people started releasing them, you know? These companies do listen to the secondary market, and I agree. Like, at the end of the day, it's a business, and you have to, like, you can't give everything to everybody, but, like, there's also a certain way that you're losing a certain part of your fan base, you know? Like, at the end of the day, when Pokemon prints out a certain amount of cards, they know how much money Nintendo's gonna make, Pokemon's gonna make. Because they don't make the money once it's sold to Walmart, and Walmart sells it to us. You know, Walmart makes the come up on that. They make the money selling it to Walmart. So once it's out of their hands, it's out of Pokemon's world.
Well, that's why it's funny, because some stuff is allowed to be backstocked. It literally will say on the back of the product, do not backstock. Mm-hmm. Then other products are allowed to be backstocked. Like Prismatics right now, on the back of them, it does not say do not backstock. But if you look at something that like, I can't even think of what it is, just like some Sword and Shield, just anything like just battle styles or anything like that, like the old boxes I have, it says do not backstock. Yeah.
So that's, I think a lot of that might be like first print versus second print, you know? Like the first wave they release versus when they start reprinting it to make a second wave of product. Because that's the thing too, like if you look at it, most sets will release with like a tin, an ETB, and a couple little products, but then a couple months later, they'll get another product, right? A new trainer box, another second ETB, that's special edition. Those are second print. Those aren't first print. So depending on the set, those cost more, they cost less, you know? Some Vivid Voltage booster boxes cost way more than others. Why? Because they were first print versus second print. And that's the thing too. And for example, in Sun and Moon and X and Y, some ETBs, some sets, first print had such, like Darkness Ablaze. Darkness Ablaze has such a shitty pull rate on top of not having the best cards in the world, you know? So that first print made the set horrible because they fixed the pull rate. If you buy second and third prints, they pull better than the first print set, 100%. But that set, Darkness Ablaze, is on fire. You get what I'm saying? And that partially is why it gave such a rotation it did, you know? Some sets, like I think 151, the first print of 151 was crazy. Crazy.
Like good pulls or bad pulls?
It's not good pulls, but like you had a really variety of mixture of pulls. Some people were pulling the Charizard, alternate art, illustration rare. Some people, but then what was the one after that with the black Charizard with the crystals on them?
Probably Prismatic.
Nah,
After 151, Paradox Rift.
I think Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift had two Charizards in that set. That set first print had insane pull rates. Like you were pulling a holo every other pack.
I don't think that one had a Charizard in it.
Then
Might have been Paladin Fates.
maybe it was one of those two sets. I specifically remember because I remember within 2 days that set was the second highest rarity card in the set, and it was at like $80. And the second day, within like 3 days.
Yeah, this Charizard right here.
Not that one, but the same set. Shout out Collector.
This
Collector's my shit. That one.
It's only worth $2 right now.
That one's $2 right now?
Yeah.
Dude, first day, fucking like $70, bro.
Oh yeah, it plummeted. It plummeted. If you're looking at it,
And that's actually one of the higher rarity cards in the set. Collector is a little funky with the pricing they pull from TCG. So if you want to, I would always compare the pricing they have on there to what's listed on TCGplayer.com, and that would pull the median from those two.
Interesting. Okay, I thought they were doing that.
They technically pull them, but it's like 2 weeks behind sales data, so the price is never actually like super accurate.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you're looking at a card that just released within the last like 3 months, I would always back check with TCG Player because they might give you a higher price on there than usually what it is. That's how I got gypped.
So it's funny. I've been having the opposite when I look.
You have a lower price there, and then you go on TCG Player and it's higher.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So just be mindful because that's the thing too. That doesn't always list the right print, and sometimes on TCG Player, the print that you have is selling at a higher price.
Yeah.
You know.
And what is good about TCG Players, you can like
you can filter it.
You can kind of self-grade it too. Mm-hmm. Like say it's like have you played like that, and still get a number to where this doesn't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
I do like how this allows you. Does TCG have the thing where you can kind of like
they have one called the Vault, but I use Collector. Yeah. I use Collector to keep track of my cards, and I use them to keep track of what I paid for them.
Yeah.
So I have like a monetary like standing value of how much I paid, and then like my profit, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because that's also the big thing too. I don't want to like pay crazy money for a card. I have a hard time paying 20 beans for a card, bro.
It's hard.
It's hard. For one card,
but
20
I'll buy
beans,
4 packs.
Yeah, I take the risk. You know, I take the risk any day. What? Dude, what? You don't want to take the risk
$20 is hard to pay for anything. That's especially if it's not like graded.
Yeah. So I'm not crazy. Like, I like graded cards, but I'm not crazy into graded cards.
I like the concept of it being preserved in its casing, and it's very easy to display.
So easy. So easy.
So that's the one thing I do like about it. It's like this thing's safe.
I like grading so safe. I like grading cards that look cool. So so the one card that I have graded right now, I'll actually show you on my collector, is a graded Bardock from Dragon Ball.
I'm a poser slap collector. I've never sent anything in to be graded.
I've never sent anything. Dude, sending in to be graded is not worth it. It's expensive. It costs a lot.
Yeah.
It costs so much. So unless you become a member with PSA, pay for a membership, and then send like 25 cards at the minimum, it's going to be way too expensive for you to make a profit on it unless you're sending like crazy
And
cards.
I can't stand, like, we can fucking tap in on that. The rarity of a fucking grading company making the value of the card different.
Yeah, because some people trust different things more. Like, the only grading companies I trust are CGC and PSA.
Really?
Because they have...
What about Beckett?
Beckett as well. But CGC is owned by Beckett.
Okay.
Yeah, so like that's the same company. You get what I'm saying? That's how they trick people. Everyone thinks it's Beckett, CGC, and PSA. No, Beckett owns CGC.
Okay.
And then CGGC is also owned by CGC.
So are those not? What's the difference there?
They're like super cheap. So if you ever go to Walmart and you see like the price,
I got a lot of
boxes,
CGC. But a couple of my slabs are CGC, and I didn't realize.
I'm talking about CGGC or CGCC. It's 4 letters instead of 3.
Okay.
If you ever open, they have like the mystery boxes at Walmart where they're made at Walmart.
Shit ones.
Yeah, and
those pulls are fucking bad.
Yeah, because those are just bulk that they throw in a box.
And they flex that you could pull a fucking XY Charizard.
So those, if you ever see one with a graded card that says come with a random graded card, grab it, buy it, because those have super third-party cheap graded cards that they just throw in there. And that's CGGC. And that's owned by CGC. And CGC is owned by Beckett. Fun fact.
Why do they fucking just... Stop. Just don't.
Because I think Beckett bought them at some point, actually. They were their own company. Because CGC did comic book grading. That's where they started from.
I want to get into graded comics
I want to get into grading video games.
This is my beef with the comic realm. And I talk about this all the time, is that they need to make an app to where I just want to see the illustration from Spider-Man 1. I want to see the
I have this card graded in a 9.
That's pretty tits. They're just fucking getting it.
Yeah, bro. Shout out Bardock. That's a dog from Dragon Ball.
But yeah, I really want to see the illustrations in all these original comics. And I know I'll never get to hold or open a fucking Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
But I would love to see the storyline of the first and things like that. And I'm mad there's not an app that exists like that. And it needs to come out.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part is like they're constantly, like there's always a story there's going on from, like, to give you an example from Marvel, right? Spider-Man's a good example. There's always a Spider-Man story going on. Mm-hmm. So Marvel wants to highlight whatever storyline they're using right now as the main Spider-Man storyline. So they're not going to give you access to certain things like that, which is why you have to go to like a third-party source. Which is so rough, but like that goes back to like how these motherfuckers make money. That's just like the comic book realm, because there's always
then
somebody.
I want a fucking Pirate Bay for comics.
I'm pretty sure there is, though. I'm pretty sure, like, we just got to look into it more, bro. But I'm like 99% sure there is, bro, because there has to be, bro. Silver Age comics and like Bronze Age comics are some of the most wanted comics around.
I just want to see the illustration. I want to see the art. I want to know the stories. I want to know, when they first involved it, who was what, and how it went down. I want to see what it looked like. I want to know how the drawings translated from then to now. That's what I want to see, and I just hate that the access doesn't exist.
No, 100%. How do you? So I got a question for you that kind of relates to that, kind of doesn't. Because there's a lot of things in what we do, like in the music realm, that doesn't relate to that. That relates to, because there's a lot that we've lost. In the realm of recording and translation, because there's a lot of artists. Like, that's the thing. Everything's been made. It's just you're the first one to put it out there. That's just like the idea of it. But I'm going to translate that into aesthetics. I live in nostalgia, so I have a very specific aesthetic. The things that appeal to me usually look like almost 90s era. Okay. Like 90s cartoons looked hand-drawn animated. But they were crisp. You're right. There's a certain level of animation. So, like, I love classic Dragon Ball Z because it looks a very specific way. We could go older if you know Astro Boy, one of the first comics to, like...
I'm aware of it.
It was one of the first animes to, like, hit our side, and one of the first big ones in Japan as well. That has a very, like, 90s cartoon style. I love the classic rigid OG X-Men vibe, and I love looking at the original Iron Man suit. Because it's not the Iron Man we know where it's all sleek and it's built to his body. No, it looks like Type 1 Iron Man from the original movie, where he's out in the desert. That's what Iron Man in the comics looks like. You got a fucking round-ass face with a square at the bottom and a big bulky body, And there's something about the way it's drawn and the way it's put out there that gravitates people, you know? And so I think that's like a lot of my, not just my core aesthetic, but my core inspiration, you know, and how like things draw me. Shut up, fantasy. No way. Did Jimmy Butler get traded?
Well, they
Jimmy
talk
Butler
about-
just got traded to the Warriors.
Okay.
Crazy.
That's football?
Basketball.
Basketball, my bad.
You're good. You're good.
Let's go sports. I'm a skater. I skateboard.
Real.
That was more my bracket.
Real. That shit's difficult.
Just fucking get hurt. Don't go pro. That's how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, there's all different types. Were you a street guy? Were you a bull guy? Were you a type to go to the park? Like, I'm a big cruiser. Like, I could do an ollie and I could do a shove it, but I cruised all my life. I love just being on the board and feeling free.
I've won a competition or two.
That's so.
But I can skate a bull. Can I skate it good? No. I could drop in, maybe do a couple fucking. I couldn't get any air out of a bull, so it wasn't like I always wanted to skate vert. Never like learned it. Never was in the right facilities to skate it either. Like that's a whole nother conversation. Though,
yeah,
like
you know.
So I was borderline street to where like I had a pretty.
You have a street tape?
Huh?
You got a street tape?
No, I can probably find some pictures of me skateboarding, but it was pre like I had some like. And these were fucking lost years ago, but like recorded on a camera that had a tape like this, and you know what I'm talking about, like those old
real tapes,
home recorder.
Yeah.
So we didn't have access to cameras as easy as we did now. So I never really got any good footage. My buddy has a newspaper clipping from when I like got the competition we won when we were kids, which was cool.
W.
Yeah, but that one I actually even won by like default. Which is kind of fucked up.
That's a part of the game, bro. That's just the hard part. That's something you can't
most
control.
Most of my career is by default, dude. Fucking Warped Tour by default.
Hey.
Okay, everything I do is by default, so I'm all right with it, though. I'm okay with it. I'm happy. By default.
Luck is just opportunity meeting preparedness, bro.
And that's where I thrive. That's one of like, it's always now, basically. Like, luck plus opportunity equals it's always now.
Yes, sir.
Because you gotta just a lot of people get scared of opportunity, and it passes us all by constantly.
The best things come on the opposite side of fear.
I've been told myself because you know like the pre-show jitters. Everybody has them. They exist to even the biggest rock stars in the world.
Facts.
And I've always been people package it as anxiety. I've been told to look at that feeling like you're about to do something you'll never forget. And that's what that sense is that you're feeling. Everybody thinks it's anxiety, which gives it a negative stigma, and I don't think that's what they should do. I think they need to be like, this is normal. This is a normal feeling. I'm about to do something amazing. Yep. I'm about to do something I've always wanted to do, never done. And it really is. It's on the opposite. The best things are on the opposite side of fear, and you find out whether you really like to do something or not.
Yeah, that's the number one thing about it, bro. That's how you really know.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. I think we hit a lot of topics. We got a pretty solid episode here.
Fuck yeah. I think we killed it.
I'm nice and smacked. We got an hour going. I know this man's over here squeaking in his trapped laser chamber. So we're gonna wrap it up. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah.
Blessings, love. Have a good one.
Oh, yeah.